Hello Internet, Sweaty Hewlett here with another Burn and Learn. And for those of you who don't know, Burn and Learn, the reason why this is ancient looking Stargate, half-dead looking Stargate guy is leering into a camera right now is because I'm on a desperate bid to stay alive long enough to raise my amazing son and enjoy my twilight years with my brilliant and beautiful wife Jane. And I'm doing that by doing a bit of fitness, and because I find the whole exercise process incredibly dull, I want to learn something while I'm doing it. So I'm exercising my brain and my body at the same time. And today was particularly painful because it was my political catch-up day. Every so often I feel guilty about not knowing what's going on in the world, and I basically binge a bunch of these New York Times, it's called the Daily podcast. So I did 2 of those today. They're about 20 minutes each. And they're just a great sort of in-depth look at some political story or storm that's happening at the time. So this one obviously was about the midterm elections. What I discovered, I was very disillusioned because back in the last presidential election, I felt that my daily consumption of the New York Times, which was done through the Audible version, was only giving me part of the news. And I felt that they were, and thus me, were sidelined by what happened in politics. I mean, it just didn't seem like that was going to happen, that Trump was going to come to power, and he was never taken seriously, it seemed, by the paper and by the left media. So I went looking further right for news, and I went looking further left for news, and I thought somewhere between the loony left and the horrid racist right, there would be some clarity for me. And of course, I never found it. So I went back to the New York Times. I listened to the Audible version as often as I can, and I try to do the Daily every so often to catch up on stuff that I need to know about. So that was the midterms today. It was all about the midterms, and then also the firing of Sessions. They talked about that as well today. So, and again, I take it all with a grain of salt now because I know that this is not entirely non-political in its views. So I think they're very good at filling in all the details. I think they're very good at trying to be sort of non-partisan in their approach. But I think they can't help but swing, I think, probably a little to the left. So who knows? I also don't like to discuss politics on social media. I mean, it's something that's come up a few times, and every so often I sort of stick my toe in the water. But I just don't feel like it's the place for it. I'm not scared of it. I don't feel like it accomplishes anything. I feel that it's very, very hard to have an intelligent and civil political debate on social media. It always seems to devolve into to name calling and stupidity. So I don't bother. I do my own research. I have my own beliefs, and I basically try to stay out of it. And another great podcast I listen to all the time, which is completely non-political, is the Twit TV stuff. I have loved watching Leo Laporte since the Tech TV days. I love what he's done. I'm jealous of his podcasting empire because it's just all the stuff I just love. I absolutely love. So I just eat up his Twit TV, his This Week in Tech, every week as much as I can. But I'm religious about listening to my Steve Gibson's Security Now podcast. I love that because that reminds me of the old 2600 phone freaks and hackers days. I love that stuff. I don't understand most of it. He's far too intelligent for me to understand most of that stuff. But I love it. So those are my podcasts. I'll put links in this for you so you can check them out yourself. And as I say, and the Daily I just really like because it just gives me a little bit of some important world news and specific topics. And then if I want to get a general sense of what's going on, I listen to their Audible version. I welcome anyone's suggestions on other stuff I could listen to from a sort of a world news standpoint. I'm very lucky. I can vote in the U.S. elections and the Canadian elections, and I feel very honored and privileged to be able to do that and be a part of 2 great countries' political agenda. So I do make sure I do a lot of research on that. I'm a real nerd. I read the manuals before I vote. Jane and I sit down. We lounge around in bed with a couple of laptops and iPads and things, and we go through the whole ballot and make sure that we're well informed on both. We don't always agree, but we certainly do the research together, and it's just kind of fun. It's almost like a date night now. I sort of quite enjoy the elections. And then we'll usually sit there during the election night and watch the various things come in and have various opinions on that too. So anyways, I invite you to check out these podcasts. I will put the links below. And until we geek again, cheerio, sweat or not, here I go. Ah!